Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feed, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Okay, everybody, what is going on today? So, I'm in one of my moods, right? Gonna do a bunch of different shows for you guys here this weekend. I'm gonna come back for a show later tonight, obviously. So I wanted to come through and do a show that I've been interested in doing for a while, especially because I covered it a couple of months back. If you've been on my channel for a while now, if not, please go back and watch that video as well. find a way to link it somewhere, whether over here or over here. But I will share that so that people who haven't seen it can see it. But I've been wanting to do another stream where we cover situations between cops and police and citizens, and whether or not those instances, those occurrences with the police and public citizens are a matter of someone's rights being violated versus just police ego, which is something we've been talking about consistently for, since all the riots and all that stuff that was happening. So hopefully this will be interesting for you all. So if you can do me a favor and hit the like button and share and subscribe and do all that while you're here. But first, let's get right into the show. All right, I don't want to waste your time. And hopefully you'll do me the favor of at the very least hitting the like button while you're here. All right, let's get right into this one here. Now, I don't know what an auditor is because they never really go into that. But what is wrong with y'all in the chat? That's fine. It's not erotic lighting, but that's fine. But what I'll say is I never knew that there were public auditors who would be obvious about recording. So they mentioned something about him being an auditor, but they don't really clarify a lot of that, in general in this video. So let's get right into this one here.
Your officers need to be educated too. Can you talk to them later? All right.
Enforcement ID. You're a disgrace right now. So you need to shut your mouth before I call your supervisor. Am I detained?
You're not free to
For
leave.
what crime?
You are not free to
For
leave.
what crime?
These officers illegally detained this man, and their sergeant.
And I love the little previews because if you guys didn't tell, the previews in the beginning are to all the other cases that we're going to see now. So I'm really curious which one of those cops is actually going to chew each other out, because we know the blue code, right? We know officers are going to have each other's back for the most part, but we also know that they don't protect rats. So obviously, an officer isn't. It's like a game. They're not going to be willing to tell on each other when they're behaving poorly. So I'm really curious what situation that is. But let's get right into it.
Would send them on a disgraceful walk of shame.
And let's have him leave.
Might just absolutely. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, I got no weapons. If I were gonna hurt you,
It started when police were called to a government building regarding a disorderly man, and what started with a peaceful handshake would escalate very quickly.
Are we detained then?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we're detained.
It's a call for service. You're not free to go.
Oh, a call for service? What crime are we suspected of?
So right now, that's what we're going to talk to them.
What crime are we suspected of?
You're detained for investigation. Okay.
Investigation of what crime?
Just hang out for a while. Okay.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and out the door.
No.
Am I detained?
You're not free to
For
leave.
what crime?
You are not free to
For
leave.
what crime?
You are
What's your
not-
name?
you're not-
L. What crime? What crime do you suspect me of?
Our supervisor right there, but you're not free to leave.
What crime do you suspect me of?
You're not free to leave.
What crime do you suspect
Okay.
me of?
So
The officer physically restricted the man.
Now, I'm just going to say this, right? If the police are called to an establishment because there's XYZ happening, right? If you're not gone by the time the police arrive, 9 times out of 10, they're going to do the same thing that this officer did. Now, when I did first watch this, and yes, hi, Eclectic Tarot. Sorry, I'm like jumping right into the crime. But thank you so much for joining the stream right now. And yes, don't forget to like the video and support the channel. That is much appreciated, much needed, and all of that, the economy that we're in. So, but yes, right? I don't see what the officer's doing in this particular instance as being a violation of rights, right? If you're still at the club when the police show up after they've called the police because of shots fired, people fighting, etc., that's your problem, right? You have to take the hit now. So I don't know what they were called to this establishment for, but 9 times out of 10, the police do this all the time, right? If they're called to an establishment, and especially when there's like disorderlies or like, let's say somebody broke property or something, wherever they're being called to, right? If you're on scene and you might be related to what's going on, they're not just going to let you leave. So even though I understand them, like, unless you're really going to detain someone for a crime, like that's the only time you should say something like this strongly. I don't think that the officer was that wrong, but you guys let me know what you think about this one.
Freedom of movement, but failed to give a reason for it. He called back up to the scene and doubled his efforts to violate the man's right.
And this is what I'll say. I'm not trying to go against the video because I think there's going to be other cases in this that, again, you'll have to weigh for yourself which one is which. But I think the reason for telling him you can't leave is because this establishment called the police because they said XYZ was happening. In order for the police to come, that means that they are investigating a possible crime. Now, whether that is or not, as soon as they come in, they're going to stop anyone who's in there. Like, hey, can you hang around just, to get witness statements or whatever? It doesn't mean someone has to tell them, oh, I saw this. They don't have to force witness statements, but it's not uncommon for them to stop people and say, hey, we have to investigate what's going on. So if you could just hang around for a minute, even if they're not even involved. I've seen that so many times. So that's my opinion on this. I don't know. Let's continue to watch the interaction, though.
Hey, can we go, man?
No, you're not free to leave.
You need to stop.
I don't need to stop. I'm telling you what you need to do. And you're gonna
What
listen.
crime do you suspect me of?
So we're free to talk to you after. We're going to talk to them. We're going to find out what they call this interview. Okay?
So you don't know why you're here, but I'm detained?
You're here for a call for service.
So this is what I would have said if I were him, right? Because I do believe there's a breakdown in communication. I would say, you're not under arrest, but we are investigating what's going on here. In order for us to know what's going on, we need to get everyone's perspective. And since you were here while whatever was happening was going on, I would appreciate if you took a seat so I can ask even you some questions, right? Because they're alleging something happened here. I think it was his approach, but I also think there was a little bit of exaggeration going on from this guy's response. I'm not going to lie.
Hold on, you guys, about being disorderly right now, so we're going to...
Do you know what disorderly is?
So, I'm not answering your question.
So you suspect me of being disorderly, is that what you're saying?
So, we're investigating. You're going to be detained for an investigation.
For investigation of a crime. You have to suspect me. Do you know what reasonable articulable suspicion is, boy?
I'm not going...
Do you know what reasonable... you're not going down this route? What, the law? Obeying the law? You're not going down that route?
Well, you can chill right here. Okay, you just hang out for me.
I want to leave now.
You're not free.
See, this reminded me of one of our favorites on the internet, those of us who watch crime, sovereign citizens, when they say, oh, do you know XYZ of the law? And at the end of the day, I don't think this officer was that wrong in telling him, hey, we're trying to figure out what's happening. If you could just stick around. I think this is approach, but I think there's ego on both sides here, in my opinion. And that's probably why there was like a headbutt, right? Because I don't think he was asking him anything unreasonable. The police were called. You're in the vicinity of whatever's happening, right after we respond to the scene. So yeah, even if you're not under arrest, we're going to ask you to stick around for a minute so that we can get more information from you. I don't think what they're asking of him is wrong. I think the approach and also maybe a bias that the officer has, I'm sorry, not the officer, that the person who's standing there has. I think it's a little bit of two people really not listening to each other. And that's the unfortunate part here. Because if they were listening to each other, this could easily be solved by saying, hey, I don't think you did anything, right? Not just by walking in here, but I do need to ask what's going on. And since you're here while someone's reporting a crime, right, we need you to stick around so I can ask you questions. This is where people have to use their communication skills, because what's not going on here is the officer is not really being as open as he could be about what he's doing and why he needs him to stop. Now, my opinion, this guy is being a little difficult, all right? And he's being argumentative and egotistical. Maybe he already has perceptions and biases against police officers, which is very real, right? People have their biases. So let's continue.
Why is that? Hey guys, this is Oro Valley Police Department. They're detaining me right now for investigation of which crime? Which crime?
The silence in the room further proved that the officers knew they were in the wrong but wouldn't admit it. However, their supervisor's arrival would immediately put their egos in check.
How you doing? So we were just checking. We get reports, different things going on. We're just making sure that everything's good.
Am I free to go?
Now you are.
You
are free to go.
Great. All right. I need your card. I need your card and I need your card right now.
For sure. Okay, you can. I give you my name and badge number.
You know, I try not to file lawsuits. You understand, young man? But you're a...
Okay, well, you can.
You don't get to detain people. No, you can back up. No, you can back up.
Listen, I understand that.
You're dismissed. Walk away.
I'm not
Sorry, go ahead. He keeps approaching me aggressively.
He's fine right here.
We're not going to have any issues.
No, I know.
Here, let me. we're fine. Right?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
I have no issue with you. I understand you guys are doing your investigation.
When's the last time you...
This is a little much. Just from me, first look, a little much. Just a little bit. Right? All the energy and the anger and the dismissiveness, it's a little bit much. But my question is, where is this other police officer coming from where he's able to say, hey, everything is good here, he's good to go? This makes me think that there was already officers on the scene, and what this guy was doing might be an ego trip. I don't know. Just my opinion.
were deposed.
If you wouldn't mind.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
Let me take some deep breaths. I get really upset when people threaten violence upon me. I've never threatened violence upon anyone in here. And when you tell me I'm detained and I try to walk out the door and you block my way.
Telling you that you're detained is not violence. All right, let's relax, right? Because there's people who actually go through situations of violence with the police threatening them with violence and things like that. And I don't think this was one of them, right? I think this was more, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of an ego trip. This was a little bit of like, hey, you don't have no right to stop me, right? Like nobody can stop me type of attitude. Just saying there's people like that in the world. Not saying that's his character, but that might have been how he was feeling in that moment. Right? I don't know. You guys tell me, let me know in the chat, right? Obviously everyone has their opinions. But I do think to some degree that this is an ego thing. And it wasn't necessarily them threatening him or trying to show off. They probably just got there and wanted to act like they were doing something. And they met probably the most difficult person in the world that they could have did that to.
That's violence.
How about,
Can you ask the violent man to leave so we can just have a calm talk? Out the door. Out the door. I'm no threat whatsoever. Look.
I understand that. I understand that.
Ask the violent man to leave, please, so we can just be reasonable.
It's just you and I talk right now.
Okay. She can stay and you can stay. These two both detained me. They can go. She didn't detain me.
No, and so that's what you and I are just talking. And you're free to leave at any point you want.
Okay.
I understand you wanted to talk, so.
And let's have him leave. Please.
You might just step. Absolutely.
Thank you.
That. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate you.
Him as well. He detained me as well. She can stay as backup. You already know I got no weapons. If I were going to hurt you, I'd hurt you. If you were going to hurt me, you'd hurt me. Okay, cool. I'll even sit down. How's that?
If you want to, that is perfect.
All right, let's bring this down. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Both officers were sent out of the hall with their heads lowered after a huge show of ego, and everyone seemed pleased with this, including the female officer named Torres, who stayed back during the illegal detention.
We had a wonderful conversation with Torres and one of her partners earlier today. We explained everything we're doing, no secrets, no nothing.
And you know, the funny part is, you know, the funny part is the woman is probably just laughing because she's used to these men just swinging their little dinglings around all mad about nothing, having their little temper tantrums all day. She's probably used to seeing this. She's probably like, you think I'm agreeing with you? I'm laughing because you are crazy and they're crazy. Two big egos in one room. That's all that was. Hey, my Reed, what's going on, girly? All right. This one's almost done. There's not a lot to it. I don't see anything with him. You know, I think this is just two big egos meet each other, and both can't do anything to each other. He can't do anything because at the end of the day, he can't come across threatening no matter how they treat him. And they can't do anything because they have no legal reason to arrest him or tell him that he's detained. So, yeah.
You showed up too, because a lot of times...
I was already still here on scene. I was just on court, actually, so I just finished up.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of times guys like him show up, they don't know what's going on, and they... did you detain me? Please say no. Just say no. I don't want to put your name on the lawsuit.
How's that?
Did you didn't detain me, right?
So, if officer...
I'm going to put that did not detain me. She never did say I was detained.
That is absolutely...
You never verbalized that I was detained.
That is absolutely perfect.
Is just a really, really good cop.
Yes, she is, absolutely.
And we're trying to keep the good ones around. We're trying to get rid of,
It remains unclear if the lawsuit was eventually filed, but the officers were guaranteed to remember that humbling experience. However, when this officer violated a man's rights, he would face a House of Representatives member that he would later regret arresting. It started on September 26, 2016, when Little Rock police pulled over a black man with warrants for his arrest.
Hey, that one's empty.
While the officers arrested the man, 79-year-old John Walker, a member of the Arkansas House of Representatives, was driving in the car
And see,
when he
this is the part that's like kind of frustrating, right? Because I truly believe that this grandpapa, this old man, was so used to instances of racial prejudice with police that he just got involved when he really didn't need to. I don't think he needed to get involved in this situation, right? I think, if you want to stay aside and record, okay, when they come up to you and try to call you a race baiter, sure, let them talk. But the whole law, like, you guys are going to see how this escalates, right? And after the escalation, because I did partially watch this video, I didn't watch all of it, because I wanted it to be a live reaction, but partially of what I seen was unnecessary. Dare I say? Dare I say there's some people who just act really fucking stupid and get in cars when they have warrants and do really dumb stuff behind the wheel, like speed and miss traffic signs, or have a car that's uninsured, and drive around and think that they're not going to ever be pulled over type of situation. So I wish this senator, what the fuck he's serving in, I wish he would have reserved this for, like, the time that dude in Florida got pulled out of the car or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe somebody without active warrants, right? But that explains to us a little bit the reason why we can't jump to the conclusion that the police are always trying to go after somebody for an injustice, right? But B, sometimes you gotta let things play out. Pay attention a little bit. See if there's actually even some racial bias. Don't just assume because some niggas are getting pulled over that means that they are innocent and the police are wrong, right? If you want to pull over and peep a little bit and see what's going on, okay, right? Now you see the guy give his license and registration and getting put in the back of the car calmly because he knows he had 3 warrants, right? And he should not have gotten in his vehicle that's registered to himself with expired tags, right? It's unfortunate when you see cases like this where somebody is trying to stand up for whatever, but it kind of shows how misguided some of the social justice, perspectives that people have are.
to witness the arrest. You see, only a year before this, John co-sponsored a law partly aimed at preventing authorities from prohibiting the filming of an arrest and was strongly against racial discrimination. So, witnessing the arrest, he took out his phone and began recording from across the street, just in time to capture the moment an officer opened the arrested suspect's car door. At that moment, the officer noticed he was being recorded and immediately walked up to John to caution.
This is what I said was misguided, right? Because maybe in Pine Bluff, right? Maybe in Pine Bluff he got arrested for a dumb reason or whatever, right? But let's pay attention to what happens in this situation, because we heard from Jump in this video that the man arrested had several warrants, right? But let's continue.
Person that goes ahead and tries to exploit this to where it causes.
And you know what? They low key, the officers ate him up real quick, right? You don't know what we go through as police officers, so no, you should not, as a state representative, just be pulling over every time you see a nigga getting arrested and try to come to their defense. You don't always know what's going on. It's one thing when an injustice is happening and you happen to be around and you can record and document what's going on. right? It's one thing, but that's not the case here, right? He's just obviously pulling, coming over at times when any black person is being arrested just to monitor the police. And I think that's where things start to get a little bit tricky. Obviously, I know some police officers are just arrogant, but it starts to get tricky now when you just want to be the police crime watch and follow them during every traffic stop or whatever. At that point, I'm not saying that's harassment because they have a legal right to record what the police do, but I do think it's silly to try to, you know, stop and every time you see a black person get pulled over. I mean, some of us would be stopping all day, right? And not every time that someone's pulled over, it's an injustice. I wouldn't take that burden into my own hands, so I don't get why a 72-year-old man would do that either, honestly. Maybe he was bored. Maybe this is a little bit of dementia. I don't know.
It's chaos.
Officer left his trainee officers with a suspect, approached a lone 79-year-old man with nothing but a camera, and called him a race baiter for recording him from across the street. The officer knew he had no power over John because he knew the law and wouldn't be intimidated, and this
That's all I need. That's all I needed to hear. You're all here.
The only thing I'll say to that is this is a 72-year-old black man. And I'm not exactly sure where this particular case is happening, but he is probably a civil rights era baby. He probably witnessed a lot of racial injustice and prejudice. And I think, for my opinion, I think this is a trauma response. I'll give him that. This is a trauma response. I think he's so used to whatever violence he witnessed and experienced as a young, as a young state representative, senator, whatever the hell you want to call him, whatever he served in political office, that he was able to get those laws passed about, recording the police. I think that all of that has compiled into a nice little trauma bond for him with the police, where he feels like he has to monitor them. He feels responsible. He feels like if he doesn't record every encounter that the police have with black people or black children, that more black people are going to die. So I will give him that. I will not clown him for being scared of what might happen between the police and black men. But I will say this, guys. Sir, nowadays, when black people are being pulled over, it's not always a case of injustice. Okay, a lot of ninjas got warrants. No, let me stop. Okay, let's continue.
So you
eventually wrote in the report that Walker kept talking over officers in an antagonistic, provocative manner when
That's
police
not
tried to.
true. They completely talked over him and they dragged him verbally, which wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. I think he's 72. We're talking civil rights era man who, yeah, he probably still is afraid of, black people's encounters with the police. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be hyper focused on it, because there's still lots of cases of injustice. I just think I'm not stopping and monitoring the police every time they pull over a black person. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And if y'all feel like that needs to happen, you ninjas need to go join the police force and do that. I don't think any black person should make it their responsibility to monitor the police. No, don't do that. Keep your peace, keep your life. I don't suggest that at all. Because at the end of the day, what are you getting out of it? Maybe this situation is not going to be a negative. Maybe he's not going to go to jail or really face charges, but being in this moment, in this situation where they can and will use their power to arrest you and put you in a cell or do whatever they're willing to do that falls outside of their power. No, I'm not giving anybody that option over me. No, I'm not.
Speak with him, but for now, they returned to the suspect's vehicle and continued their proceedings. However, John was soon joined by an associate lawyer who, after being updated on the ongoing arrest, approached the officers, forcing John to follow behind him and record.
Back over there. Back over there. What? You got a right to... Okay, no you don't. You got a right to go over there. You're in the middle of my traffic.
Yeah, see, they got way too close. Now, are the police wrong for everything that's going to precede this moment? Yes. But why are they coming up to them and making it easier for them to just find whatever old stupid reason to put you in handcuffs? Like, no, don't call. Look at this. She's mortified. Look at the black police officer. She's like, damn it, niggas, why would y'all do this? She's wondering why the hell you would bring this drama to her workplace. She wants to know. And then look at her to listen. Let's continue though.
If you want to impede, you will go to jail. I'm not playing. Go back over that side, please. I'll go one more time and go back on that side. You are obstructing justice. Go back over there where you were at. You can do whatever you want to do. Over there.
The officer was already reaching for his cuffs way before approaching John, so it was no surprise that he would eventually arrest John, who was standing with his phone out yards away from the arrest scene.
How are you? What's your name, Miss Rance?
You just said it.
What's your first name? Okay, are you a trainee?
Did you want to have it?
Where are the cameras? Where were the cameras before? They weren't always on.
The camera is on.
John was taken to jail for an obstructing charge and issued a $1,000 bail. However, Little Rock police dropped the charges the next day after the police chief reviewed the arrest footage and concluded that John should not have been arrested. He issued an apology letter to John after the incident, but John didn't respond to it. The involved officers weren't suspended, terminated, or charged for the incident. This corrupt cop trying to escape arrest would get the worst humiliation in his entire career.
You're a disgrace right now.
Yeah, John went to jail for a day, but he didn't face any charges. And I don't understand why John didn't sue, right? Because if he was illegally or unjustly arrested, then why didn't he sue? Maybe both of them were dumb and he just was too old and decided I'm not fucking with the police no more. Right? Okay, let's get into it.
So you need to shut your mouth before I call your supervisor, and we go from there, and you don't lose your job in California while you're visiting Arizona.
On November 14th, 2020, Scottsdale police officers arrived at a club on reports of an intoxicated man hitting a bouncer and refusing to leave.
They don't want you at the business, so you need to go.
I'm on your side.
I get that, but they don't want you here today, man.
You guys are f***ing brutal.
Hey.
I'm on your side, bro.
We understand what you do, but you need to.
I'm a law enforcement officer.
Hey, you need to understand. Hey.
You want to have a full conversation?
Come here. What did he do? What did he do? He's trying to buy everybody that walks by. Right. We kicked him after he got all his kicks out. We kicked him out.
He ain't even fucking following no sense of this.
The man acted very entitled because he was a Roseville, California police officer named Scott Romo, and because a fellow cop acting that terribly was a bad image for all officers, these officers would put him right in his place.
You know, I like that they included you know, an off-duty police officer, because I've always heard that they give their own special treatment, you know, that their own don't you know, get arrested and all such and such. And this lets you know that there are some officers out there with integrity who, when they see you acting a fool, they don't care what police department that you work for, because hey, we got body cameras on. And now if you make us look stupid, the public knows. You know, one thing I'll say is that body cameras have handed accountability back to police and to citizens, because you're not about to be a public citizen acting a donkey with the police and then claiming that you are falsely arrested, that you didn't do nothing, and bop, 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 bop. And then we see this body camera and you're swinging on the police. I saw somebody straight up on the on the police, and I was like, I know you ain't gonna act like you don't know why you're getting arrested, right? Because you have no business swinging and trying to cock at the police. That don't make no sense, right? But we've also seen police overly use their power and authority to not only exercise their ego, but to disrespect the rights of citizens. So it's a balance. I like the balance on this channel. Make sure you guys support, because I sure am. Trust me, before I even show you. And I think that you guys should support Vigilant Detective. He got plenty. You don't need me to tell you, but just so you guys know who I'm watching.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home. Oh, now you're gonna go home? You just said you didn't want to go home. Now you want to go home? Are you serious? Now you want to go home.
Let's sit him down.
Dude, I have a law enforcement ID.
You, sir, are a disrespect to our profession this evening. If you say it one more time, I'm going to hold you in custody and make you tell the judge in the morning that you have a law enforcement ID. You're a disgrace right now. So you need to shut your mouth before I call your supervisor, and we go from there, and you don't lose your job in California while you're visiting Arizona.
I don't understand.
So you
know, and I love this. I hope they protected him in Arizona, because we all know how the police treat rats within their own organization, right? We all know. We know that the police is a fraternal organization. So if you speak out against another officer, we know how some police officers will treat you. So I hope that we protect this man. I hope we do. I hope that we're snapping for this man. I hope that he's not getting any practical jokes or people ignoring when he said that somebody's about to shoot him, right? Because we know. We've heard a lot about how these organizations will penalize each other for speaking out about injustice. And I think he did a good job dragging him, me personally. Okay? So let's continue.
Let us do our job now, because you can't make adult decisions.
What's your job?
My job is to take you to jail now, because you can't be an adult. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Okay.
Have a seat. Sit down.
Hold on.
Sit down.
Sit down?
Yes. Kick your feet out. Kick your feet out.
I have a law enforcement ID in my wallet.
They got assault. Multiple witnesses watched about 15 times him swatting the hand of the security guards away in line, trying to grab us.
That's the crazy part, is that all of them were like, bro, just get out of here. Just leave. They don't want you here. They don't want your business. Leave. Right? And he's still arguing. So even though they're reading the book to him right now, I do think they gave him a chance. They gave him a chance to leave, to cooperate, but he's had far too many substances. So let's continue.
So if you got a victim and you got someone that articulates it, he's already been kicked out of Whiskey Road.
Come on, bro.
Service.
Are you serious?
Sometimes you got to.
I have a
It's
ID.
in that the protocol. There's a protocol for this.
I'm not trying to hurt you.
No, man. The issue.
I have a ID in my wallet.
Considering he was drunk, the officers expected some of his antics, as he somehow believed that having a police ID made him immune to getting arrested, but he would end up making a complete fool of himself and realize just how wrong he was.
You're seriously gonna put me in this position? No, you put yourself in this position. No, yeah, bro. See, this is the other part that's a disgrace to our profession that you're not catching. If you're a true cop and you cared about the blue, you would not put me in this position right now. I've freaking gone home when I asked you to. Okay? That's the position you put me in. Yeah, I do think you should have gone home.
That's so true, right? You want everyone to praise your position as a Leo. When another Leo tells you, yo, just go home, when they very well could arrest you, and you don't, yeah, you're not helping him either. So I'm glad he stood on it. I don't like that they gave him a chance, but I'm glad he stood on it.
Where is your bachelor party? It's in Phoenix. They're by your... They left you. You understand that? They left you.
I'll tell you that honestly.
Do you have a lieutenant information?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you would like for me to blind call your agency tomorrow and tell them that I arrested you and then ask to speak to the police chief? Who would you like me to notify? Because if you don't want to give me any information, it's going to be a blind call to whoever I can get a hold of.
I don't have to be honest with you.
I'm listening.
To be honest with you?
Yeah, I would hope you would be honest, yes.
You're not listening.
I am listening. You haven't completed a sentence.
You know, I don't have an honest police chief. He has a knee replacement.
Okay.
So he has a knee replacement.
Drew, what's your phone number? Drew, man, we tried, buddy. We gave it our damnedest, my man.
I don't know how you tried.
Okay. Well, hopefully tomorrow when you're sober and you watch our body camera footage, you'll understand how we went above and beyond.
Something quite funny to note is that Romo had only been a police officer for a year and was already using that as an excuse to act this way. But that had no effect, as the officers took him to jail and into a holding cell where he humiliated himself some more before making a career-ending move.
Take a nap, close your eyes.
I'm not gonna take a nap.
All right, man. Until you stop banging on the jail doors and down.
Can I call my lieutenant right now?
So was the career-ending move when he called his sergeant from the jail cell? That must be the career-ending move, because I think even at this point they're like, just lay down and go to sleep. But he wants to be banging on the door. He's probably drunk and high. Probably a heavy combination.
Get out as soon as possible.
You know what? Fair enough. How does he work that phone? Okay, let me give you the number to call, and you can call your lieutenant right now. I have it right here.
On this?
Yes. Go ahead.
What about how? Lieutenant Glenn, this is Romo. Good, how are you?
While we don't know the details of the call, the results were enough proof that it didn't go so well. Romo was charged with assault and disorderly conduct and fined a total of $650. He was fired from the police department and, very shockingly, now has the honor of serving the Lord full-time as the assistant director of a church in Rockland, California.
And before we get into this one, I'm not even gonna lie, I was dying of laughter. He became a assistant of a church. Yeah, that's a better use of his time than trying to police neighborhoods while he's high. So, anyways, let's continue.
Everybody here very uncomfortable.
Oh, not at all.
They would like for you to leave.
By me standing
They
here.
would like for you to leave.
Okay,
These female officers wanted to violate this man's rights because they didn't like him, but would be shut down by their supervisor instead.
And your officers need to be educated too. Can you talk to them later? All right.
If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. It began when an auditor began filming inside a postal office after the manager instructed him to leave the building.
This is the lady that I think identified herself as the manager, and she's refusing to.
So see, this is the part that's tough for me, right? Because when they say auditor, I just thought about it, and now I noticed that a lot of these channels online call themselves police auditors, etc., etc., and so they, or whatever, like just auditors in general of like public officials and things like that. And so for me, it's like, is some regular public person going into a business, a public business, whatever, and recording and acting hostile and whatever, and accosting these people on their workday as a job? Is it their job to go into the post office and see how quickly, whatever business, whatever manager or whatever will kick them out, right? Because they're in there. Now, I've heard people go online and be like, oh, the Publix in my area, or the Stop and Shop, or the Walmart, or the KFC in my area, the managers act like X, Y, and Z. And so they'll send somebody in there to go and see what's going on and call that person an auditor, right? And so I do think there's a lot of people online who are doing things in the public. They're taking on these antics that make people feel threatened. They do. I don't know if it's real threat or if people are just like they don't want to be that person who ends up online. But there's a lot of that going on right now. So keep that in mind when we get into this one.
Give me her name. Okay, why do you need me to leave the building? Why? How am I disrupting service? I'm nowhere near the...
She refused to identify herself or state why she wanted him out of the building, but demanded that he comply. And prior to this, she had called the cops on a lone man with a camera, and they too would act out of place.
I smell we're recording.
Hello.
Is there a reason that you're recording?
Can you
You're holding up the line.
Can you identify yourself, please? Your name and your badge number? You can verbalize it?
You can take yours.
I thought your policy says you have to verbalize your name and your badge number.
You're not allowed to record here. They want this stuff on.
And why can't I record in here? It's which makes it public, right?
Why are you recording in here?
Because
Okay, so
what do I need?
these older ladies, they probably don't know the law has changed, sir. Relax, Mookie. You're lucky I even called you that. I would have said sir. But these old ladies don't know the law has changed. Now, why are you making their day more difficult? They look like they've been on the police force for 20 years.
I have to explain to you what I need here. Well, I have the right just to come in here and observe public officials doing their job, and that's enough reason. I don't have to have a specific reason to be here. I can walk in here and record public employees during the course of their duties. That's been established by law. So that's simply what I'm doing. And I also wanted to ask her questions about the Poster 7, which is supposed to be in every post office.
She doesn't feel comfortable answering your questions.
Okay, she doesn't have a choice. She's a public employee.
She has a choice.
Oh, wait, she will. Oh, yeah, that's true. She has that right not to, but I also have the right not to ask my questions. She can choose not to answer them, but I can ask them. And as a public employee, she should answer questions.
She doesn't want to answer your questions.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
She's asking you to leave. They feel unsafe.
Ma'am, you don't have unsafe. Why? Because I'm recording?
They don't feel comfortable with you.
Okay, but their comfort does not trump my right. I have a right to be here. Okay, their feelings do not trump my right to be here and record and observe public employees in the course of their duties. So if you can explain to them that I have the right to be here, as granted to me by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Okay, but they didn't even give me the opportunity to tell them what I needed. As soon as I walked in here, they were very aggressive. Get out of here, without even asking me what I needed, what I wanted. And I asked her a question: where is your Poster 7? That is supposed to be on the wall at every post office. It's supposed to be on the wall, and she couldn't even answer that simple question.
She doesn't know.
She should know. She's the manager here.
But she doesn't know, sir.
Okay. Well, if she doesn't know, that's fine.
Maybe she wasn't trained yet. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she just doesn't know.
Okay, well, I'm here to let you know you're supposed to have a Poster 7 on the wall. That's why I'm here. I want to see what the rules and regulations of the post office is when it comes to when it pertains to the members of the public coming here to record.
Okay,
right?
So what do you need? Do you need to mail a letter? Or do you need stamps?
Oh no, I don't need any of that. I already told you why I'm here. Okay. I'm here to observe public employees in the course of their duties.
There's nothing on the wall, so you're making everybody here very uncomfortable.
Oh, not at all.
They would like for you to leave.
By me standing
They
here,
would like for you to leave.
okay, there's so many things we would like
Do
to
you
do.
want attention?
Right?
I mean, what is it?
It's not attention. It's not attention. I just told you.
She doesn't know the answer. It's not there.
Okay.
I'm sure she can arrange to
Okay,
have
well-
something put there.
okay,
But
well,
right
at
now,
the-
everybody is very uncomfortable
Okay, but
with
at-
you and your filming, and
Okay.
they feel threatened by this.
They feel threatened?
Yes.
How do you feel threatened? By my camera?
Being here. You and your camera.
Recording?
Everything about you. Okay.
Everything about me is threatening?
I need you to. She
What, can
feels
you-
threatened, sir.
Can you explain that?
No, she doesn't have to.
Okay.
She feels threatened.
Well,
I feel threatened and I need you to be.
well, I'm telling you, you have no authority to ask me to leave a public place. The only way I can be trespassed from public is if I break the law. I haven't broken the law by simply standing here and exercising my rights. So maybe what you should do is explain to her.
Now, what I will say is, I don't understand why some people, especially, never mind. I don't understand why some of these people who are working in public businesses don't learn or understand what the rules are in terms of public interactions, right? He was just standing there recording. I don't think he did anything threatening. I do think some people, when they come into these business, they act a fool. They don't know all the rules. They think that the rule is that they can do whatever they want. Yeah, I think they should have been a little bit more educated before they started threatening him. Mookie said, "That's so fake, I feel threatened." Yeah, they weren't threatened, and she wasn't threatened in any way. So I don't know why she would tell the officers that she feels threatened. But look at her and that little pointy nose and that fake, poorly bleached blonde hair. You know, I think she was doing a little bit too much for me at the very least. But yeah, I don't think she felt threatened, and I do truly think the person who was in there auditing could have been a little bit more subtle versus being like outright, "Hey, I'm recording to see what stuff they're doing wrong in here." But this lady really thought that she was gonna get him put out the business, and that didn't happen.
That she cannot tell me to leave here because I have the right to be in here for whatever reason. And now,
But at this
wait,
point,
then can I
she's
finish?
feeling
Can I finish? And now,
She's feeling threatened.
let me finish. And now, one of the reasons I have to be here is I have to file a complaint against her. So I need a complaint form because I'm going to file a complaint against you, and then I need a FOIA form so I can request your information. So that's my business here now. So I need you to take care of that.
Because you are at this point, and I feel threatened. You need to leave.
All right.
The cops had already taken sides as they spoke to just the manager and concluded that everyone was threatened by the auditor with a camera. They even tried to excuse the woman's ignorance of the law, but gave the man no room to air his complaint, and at some point even blatantly refused to talk to him till their supervisor arrived.
What you should be doing, Wilson, that's your name? What you should be doing is telling her that I have the right to be here
Now,
and do what I'm doing. But apparently you don't know.
here's what I'll say
Apparently-
is leave Wilson alone. That poor lady looked like she been a police officer for too many decades. And she is sick of you people coming in there whining. But I do think, yes, these officers need to be educated. If the law is changing, if things are significantly changing in the world, no, you can't just go to a public business like UPS or other government run public entities and tell people they have to leave. Just that's like a cop going to a bus station and saying, "Hey, the manager who works in this bus station don't want you over here. You're a custody. You make this bus station look like it's full of crackheads, and we want you gone." The police can't do that. So I do think people need to be, these officers who've been working in law enforcement for a long time, they need to be educated when things change. They need training when things change. Don't just put them out there back in the streets without telling them that people have a right to deny talking to them, have a right to XYZ. Like, all of that has to be consistent and over time training, which is not happening. A lot of these officers just have been doing the same thing since the civil rights movement. So, anyways, yes, please double tap your screen, like the video, share, subscribe, and get in, jump in these comment sections and talk to us, right? Mookie's in here talking, and she said that she was doing too much. And I do think she was doing too much for me as well. She never felt threatened, and she never felt abused or anything like that. I've seen a lot of body cam. This was not threatening body language. So let's continue. Look at the nosy lady back there trying to see what's going on. That's like an auntie I know. Just be sitting there quiet, just watching to see what's going on.
Don't know. So you're either willfully ignorant or you're just all right. I mean, so what are we doing? Waiting for your sergeant?
So here's the problem, John Mansell, right? Was his recording in general what caused the disturbance, or was it the attention that the manager gave to it? Because from what I can see, and probably what he had evidence for, which is why he's not going to walk away from this encounter in trouble, is that he was simply recording. And the manager didn't like that he was recording. And so what she did was tell him to stop recording. And he said no. And she said, leave. You don't have that right. That's why I said you can't just be mad at public employees. You also have to educate them on what the rights that they do have are and what the public is able to do. And if you guys have signage and verbiage that's not posted where it's supposed to be, take the advice and move about your business. But to tell people that they can't behave a certain way that they certainly can in public, that's not beneficial for people or for the police. So I think it would have been much better for them to say, ma'am or sir, or actually ma'am, because they would be talking to her in this instance. Ma'am, he's not causing a disturbance. Your attention to him is what's causing the disturbance. So therefore, I would venture to say that you should leave him alone. Make sure he's not breaking any laws or doing anything in your business. But if he's just standing there, you can't tell him he has to leave. He has a legal right to be there. And that's the stupidity here. Is that this woman made it her public business. She made it her own business to tell this man you need to leave from a public business. Just because you work at UPS doesn't mean that you are a UPS oversight, honey. You are simply a worker bee. And you're probably not getting paid enough to sit there and tell people they need to leave the post office. And I think that's what was being illustrated here. Now, I will say that some of these auditors and people who go around checking the police and things like that they're very rude. But I think he dealt with her in a very reasonable way. So no, he didn't have to be arrested. But I do think if she would have came to him and said, hey, I don't have a problem with you, just stay out of the customer's way. Don't speak out loud in your videos because it's going to distract the people in here trying to do business. And you're making it hard for me because people are going to come up to me and say, why is that man recording? But what the police officers have to tell people and what people need to know is that when you're in a public space, anybody can record you. You can't even fight a public citizen for recording you at a public park, right? Because you're there in the public. So let's get into it. William Hampton says, read poster 7. No, actually, you're wrong. So let's get into it.
You tell the world how I was threatening to you. I can speak to her, ma'am. I can speak to her. I can speak to her, all right? Ma'am, you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. I can ask her a question. She can choose not to answer me. That's fine. It's a Fifth Amendment right to ignore me. I'm fine with that. I love the Constitution that much. And they've just shown exactly why I'm here. Because the reviews and the reports that I got about how rude the employees are here, they just proved it.
They appeared unshakable in their belief that the man needed to leave the building, but once their supervisor arrived on the scene, she immediately proved just how wrong they were while showing extreme professionalism.
Hi, sir. How's it going?
I'm good. Are you the sergeant?
Yeah, I'm Sergeant.
How are you?
Sergeant How about yourself?
Good. What's your name?
Sergeant Oropeza.
Harvard. What's your badge number?
1721.
My bad, guys. I had a technical difficulty for a second. But actually, John Mansell, you're wrong. He's not over the counter at all. If you've ever been to the post office, then you know that there's a middle island that has a bunch of transactions and things that you can do, right? You can fill out paper to mail something, to send an object that's big or, you know, heavy or whatever. You can do all of that while you're in there. So him simply standing next to that check item, no, that's not him breaking a law or doing anything at all, right? In no way, shape, or form. That's not a reason for him to get arrested, and he's definitely not picking up anybody's private information. I do think, if anything, once they started going back and forth, he became a distraction in the business, but that's not a distraction that he instigated. So again, we're playing with legal jargon here, but at the end of the day, he does have a right to be there auditing publicly in silence. He doesn't have to be loud or making noise in the business, but if the business manager starts to confront him and argue with him, now she's made a mistake. Also, look at the Chicago police officer. She's like, ooh, I don't want to see you. Right? She knows the officers in this case were dumb. They should have just walked away.
Okay.
How's it going?
It's going great, other than the fact that I was being asked to leave a public place where I have the right to be.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I'm recording, and I had some questions for the employees, and they wouldn't answer my question, which is fine. They don't have to speak with me.
Right.
But they don't have the right to tell me to leave a public place as long as I am not interfering. And I was just standing on the corner recording, which is my right to do.
Right.
They don't like that, so they're asking me to leave, and they don't have the authority to do that. So
they could ask you to leave, but you're right. You're absolutely.
Yeah, they can ask.
You are allowed to record as long as you are not interfering with their duties.
Not at all.
And
Right.
the public. You know, the public also has to feel safe.
Right, but come on, Sergeant, you know better. Their feelings do not trump my rights. You know that. You're smiling about it, so you know.
But you know,
Yeah.
you get calls, and then this is what happens.
Oh yeah,
right?
they can call, and then I expect you, as you seem right now that.
So I will talk to them,
Yeah.
let them know.
Right. Education.
The sergeant listened to the auditor's complaint, showed empathy for his troubles, communicated with him, and remained accountable for her roles, eventually ensuring that the officers involved understood their wrongs.
Yeah. So you've given me her name.
I've already given you your name,
Her
and
name.
I already explained to her that because it is a public place.
Okay.
You have the right to be here and record. Us as citizens also have to understand that in public, you know, chances are being recorded.
You're a star.
Have a good one.
Take care.
You too.
All right, but I will still leave after you. Right.
Let me finish
Sure,
talking with her,
sure.
and then yeah.
You're welcome.
You know what I mean? After he's caused all that drama, yes, I would hope he would leave, right? But yes, unless he is the one who initiates the disturbance in that business, no, he's not the one instigating the disturbance. Again, as a public person, you can record and watch any public official while they're doing the duties of their job. You can record, you can watch. He wasn't the one that started because he was just standing there recording. He might have said some things out loud to himself, but obviously nothing that he physically did was a disturbance. That's where she instigated and escalated the situation that it didn't need to go. Right? And that's why things are going to go the way they do in the video. So, you know, obviously do me a favor and hit the like button, share, subscribe, but also pay attention, right? Everyone's looking at him like he's crazy, but he's not doing anything to anybody there. They're watching him. They're responding to how this woman is responding to him being there as a quote unquote auditor.
Oh, I appreciate it. You've been very professional. I appreciate it. I'm gonna come to you. Are you from the station down the street?
No, I'm not.
What station are you from?
19.
19. Okay. I want to come there and leave a letter of recommendation for you, because not every time that you find law enforcement officer that understands the rights of the citizens and actually enforces it. So, are you aware now, ma'am, that members of the public can record you while you're working? I'm not here to cause you any problem. I'm not here to make your life any more difficult. And your officers need to be educated too. Can you talk to them later? All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Maria.
She chose to educate her officers privately, but the next supervisor humiliated his corrupt deputy to his face.
All right. Have a nice day, officer. You too, sir. Hope you learned something today.
On January 4th, 2019, a man was taking pictures of the exterior of the Toms River Municipal Court when he was approached by an officer with very sinister intent.
Taking some pictures? Working on a story for the township?
You're working on a story for the township.
Well, about the township for me.
For you?
Yes.
What are you making, a documentary?
It's a news story.
A news story?
Yeah.
You have ID?
I always have ID.
Okay, can you provide that?
No.
You can do whatever you want, but as far as, I just need to identify who you are.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I do, sir.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And what law is that?
Well, you came in as a suspicious person. Anytime we investigate as to somebody calling in about suspicious, we need to at least identify who it is we spoke to. You're not in trouble in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, then I don't need to give ID.
Well, you do.
What law is that?
To know who you are.
What law is
if I'm
that?
investigating a crime, it's actually called obstruction if you fail to provide
Wrong.
documentation. No, sir,
Quote,
that's not wrong.
quote that statute.
I already
Quote
told
obstruction.
you what it is.
No, apparently you don't.
Sir, look, I'm not looking.
I have to commit an unlawful act and prevent you from performing your unlawful duty to be in violation of obstruction.
Currently, right now.
So what's the unlawful act?
Right now, it came in as a suspicious person.
and what statute is suspicious?
Police can ask for an ID if and only if they have a reasonable suspicion that you've committed a crime. Taking pictures of a public building or supposedly appearing suspicious wasn't reasonable suspicion that a crime was committed. It wasn't clear if the officer knew this and just wanted to threaten the man, but he would regret his actions once his supervisor arrived.
Again, if you fail to provide your documentation, you can be placed under arrest for obstruction.
You think so?
Oh, I know so.
You know so.
So I'm going to ask you again, can you please provide your documentation? Otherwise, you are going to be placed under arrest for obstruction. Here's the other problem. Now you lied to me, so now I have a concern as to whether you're being truthful and honest with me. Do you understand?
Okay, well, you're not being truthful and honest with me because you haven't quoted a law yet that I'm required to show you ID.
I already explained to you what I need to
Supervisor.
do. If you fail to, there's actually a supervisor right there.
Okay.
Okay? And I don't need to have a supervisor anyway because I asked you for who you are.
Well, I'm asking for a supervisor.
Who you are, and
I did not lie about who I am.
I explained to you what happens if you fail to provide documentation. Now, if I find out you're lying to me, now you could be charged with hindering.
Do we have a sergeant?
Giving failed documentation.
No.
You have
What's
two
going on,
sergeants,
sir?
right?
Two? Okay.
What's going on?
So what is your name and what is your information?
I'm not answering any questions. Personal information.
Okay, well then you're going to be placed under arrest for obstruction.
And what law is that,
sir?
Sergeant?
He doesn't need to explain it to you.
Well, he does actually. He actually does.
Frank, just hold on a second.
So let's find out.
Can I just ask you what you're doing here?
Yes, sir. I'm in public taking pictures of a public building, expressing my First Amendment right to freedom of press.
So here's my thing, though. Even though it's a public space here, I do think when they are investigating, like I mentioned earlier in the video, the police are going to ask them, what is your business here? Now, whether they accept that or not is different, but I don't see the need for the hostility on either side. Just saying.
I'm here to actually file a complaint.
Okay. You have that right. You have all those rights. You just
Thank you. Well, he appears to tell me that I don't.
Now, just so you know, there are areas of this building that are posted.
Absolutely.
That are off limits.
Yep, like the back of that parking lot there. It says restricted area. Can't go back there.
Areas or video those areas.
Absolutely.
Other than that, if you want to walk around with your camera, you can walk around with your camera.
And I don't need to show ID to do that.
You don't have to show ID right now. No, sir. All right, sir?
How's that?
Well, that's incorrect, actually, in that respect.
Oh, is it? Is it?
That's
So your
different than
sergeant's
what you
wrong.
explained to my
So your sergeant's wrong?
what we were going to.
So your sergeant's...
We're not going to get into an argument here. So we're all set,
Because
all right?
I was just threatened with arrest for not providing identification. It's a violation of Fourth Amendment.
All right, sir. But now we're clear on what's going on, right?
Is he?
Are we all clear?
Is he clear? Because I'm clear and you're clear.
Everybody here is clear, sir.
Very good, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Continue what you're doing.
I appreciate your
All
help.
right? You have a good day.
You too.
All right?
Thank you
We're
very
all
much.
clear, guys.
Thank you.
All right?
Have a nice day, officer.
You too, sir.
Hope you learned something today.
The supervisor shut down his deputy's arrogance in less than a minute, and he was left humbled. He stayed back and was lectured by the supervisor, who would again show him that he was supposed to serve and not oppress citizens.
We're all set. You guys are good? Frank, you're good? All right, Jimmy.
By the way, officer, name and badge number, please.
Not right now, sir.
Excuse me. Is it in your policy to identify yourself? You engaged me. Sergeant, it's his policy to identify himself to me?
That's Officer badge number 369, Sergeant Ruiz, badge number 339.
Appreciate it.
Those officers, badge numbers and names?
Oh, they didn't contact me. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Walk of shame. Walk of shame.
This interaction was uploaded to YouTube and gained high traction, with the police department stating that the deputy's actions would be duly investigated. However, the victims in the next case were officers, and they suffered a power trip from a school secretary and her principal, both of whom would eventually be set straight.
Don't feel safe right now.
I do not.
Okay, well
So,
then why don't you go back to your office and hide in safety?
So, Mr. Howe.
It occurred on March 17, 2025, when Columbus police were called to a government-owned middle school regarding a bomb threat, but were blocked from entering by the school secretary.
What?
You have to wait till you come in, sir.
I'm here on official police business.
I get that. I just radio for the safety security. Just have to wait for him to come in here to pick you up. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
What?
I'm just saying that I'm just going by the rules that I've been instructed. This radio for
I
him
thought
to come and get you.
Has your union, teachers union, and the lawyers spoke with you? Huh? Have they spoke with you?
No.
We're here on official police business.
I get that, but safety security is on their way to come and get you.
Okay, we have authority over safety and security. Do you understand that? We're Columbus Police.
I have authority over my principal. You do not over my principal to me. So she tells me for you guys to wait. You're not the first one to go through this. And I'm not trying to be combative, but he told me to let you know, let him know when you got here. He's going to let you know. And I just radio him. He's coming to get you. Okay?
Okay, well.
I'm just telling you what I go through.
The school secretary asked the officers to wait for the school security, who called them to the school before they went inside. And while this was very shocking, it wasn't the first time. The teachers' union had previously warned that the principal's behavior endangered students, and the officer now understood why.
Okay, well, when we're here on official police business, we are over safety and security.
I will talk to legal about that in just a second. I will email them and ask them.
I will call. This is ridiculous. We are here in official capacity.
So here's my thing. Why are you arguing with the police? Right? That's my thing. If it's any old regular person saying they're anybody, but if it's somebody saying that they're the police, 9 times out of 10, that's who they probably are. Unless this is a case of them being sneaky and wanting to pretend to be the police. That's an offense that you can go to jail for. So the people doing that likely aren't actually. I think she should have gave it up. This officer is telling you, I'm an actual police officer. You play with me, you play with me. For Jazz in Java said, it's okay for police to wait. I do think to some degree, but if they're saying we're here on official business, meaning we're going to investigate a crime, I think that's not a time to flex the chain of command.
Like what I know that I've been told by my principal.
So if a teacher's being beat up, I have to ask you to let me through the door. Is that what you're saying?
No, I need ASAP, please.
So if a teacher's getting beat up, I have to go through you to get to that teacher. That's what you're saying. So yeah, this is. So if they have an emergency here, she has to decide if it's a big enough emergency.
Are you taking them out that way? Or are you taking them out? What's going on?
I'll put them in the conference room for right now.
It was shocking that the woman was a middle school secretary, as she appeared to lack good communication skills, always talking over the officers and repeating herself. She claimed to be taking orders from the principal, and the principal, upon arrival, only made things worse.
I was in a meeting, so I know, Mr. Come on back over here, please. The door, please.
So what I'm going to do is get back a hold again with the teachers union. I'm going to get a hold of legal because.
What does the teachers union have to do with this?
Because it seems like they're some of the only people that have pull. If we have an emergency at the school, I should not have. I should not have to explain to this woman why I'm here. I don't come here for party time. I come here on official police business. This is a game we've been playing for years. This is a game we no longer want to play with. You should be welcoming us. You called up. If you don't want me here, and if you want me to beg you to get through that door, don't call me.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure all that happened, but
it's all on recording on body cam.
Well, but I just came over here because I heard some noise going on. I heard my secretary having to argue or whatever was going on. What I do know is, and I want to make sure this is on camera too, we felt a lot of disrespect by some of the members of the Columbus Police Department, including yourself, sir. What just transpired here, I do not know, but we definitely did call you today.
How did we disrespect you?
Oh, at one point in time, one of your colleagues, and just even your demeanor right now, your demeanor is off. So we did call you
Because I'm not into playing games.
Well, I'm not into playing games either, sir. So I'm not either, but we are going to follow the district protocols and so forth and so on. Today you were called because a scholar made this threat, which he said he was just playing. So Mr. contacted you, and so now you are here. Miss was doing her job. I don't know if she knew you were coming or not. I don't know what transpired.
Okay, if she knows we're coming here for a reason, I should not have to beg and plead.
No, don't argue. Don't argue. So Miss asked me to, when CPD gets here, let me know. And as soon as I saw them on the camera, I called for him and said, your guests have arrived. If there was a situation would have been warranted that it was immediate or whatever, I would have been told I'm the first point of contact. But that wasn't the case. The case was, when they get here, let me know. And that's what I did. But then I get combative because, I need to go through, blah, blah, blah. That type of situation. Well, then the other caveat, too, that we've been told from our district is that the police can't just go all over the building and do whatever you want to do. That has been established too. Now, if it was an active shooter, that's something totally different, but that's not what's going on right now. But there are rules and protocols.
So if a teacher's being assaulted.
So if a teacher's being assaulted, so there was a breakdown on that too, which Mr. and I discussed as well. But the assault had already taken place. But nonetheless, the teachers called. So they were the ones who made the phone call, and then they had already given information over the phone as to the scholar. Now it gets back to me that allegedly I stopped information or whatever. Yes. That's not true, sir. You and I only talked once. When I came
you
out
said
of
I
my
will not
office
provide
door,
that student's information.
You asked me, was he going to be suspended? I said I cannot share that information with you, and walked away. That was the only conversation you and I had on that day.
In the last 2 years, I know you have refused to provide student
follow
information.
the district protocol.
But that's not your protocol. Now, are you to give me that student's information now?
It depends on what the situation is.
Are you to get if in an assault? It depends on
what the situation
if
is.
Those teachers
not for me. The teachers are to get that. They were the ones who called.
You are the principal.
No, that's not how it works. They were the ones who called. You had the conversation with them.
The principal appeared very dismissive of the officers, even though they arrived at the school on calls for help and not on their own terms. She wanted them to do their job, but at the same time, want to tell them how to do their job. And even a history of bad experiences with them hadn't forced her to change.
I personally do not feel comfortable even speaking with you, to be quite honest, because of the way that, because I believe that you do not even have my safety in mind. So I'm just being very clear.
Okay, and as an administrator, can I give you my feeling? You, for some reason, you don't like the police, and you want to make things so difficult for us that we don't want to come to your school. And listen, I listened to you, did I not?
You did.
You are, and I don't know what in your life happened that you hate us so much that you don't want to cooperate. But the Teachers Union, and I've talked with them,
I'm gonna pause you because it's not going to be back and forth. I don't have any hate towards the police or anything like that. There are some who come in over to Ridgeview who are just fine, but all of this and escalatedness and so forth and so on, I do not feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. But because I'm the building principal, and I heard what was going on, then I came on.
You don't feel safe right now.
I do not.
Okay, well then why don't you go back to your office and hide in safety?
So, Mr. Did you provide him with the information?
I'm going to walk out and give it to you. Okay. Because I can only give you...
Yeah, just give me the top half, and that's fine. I need name, date of birth, and his contact information.
Yeah, and like I said,
and that's what we had not been provided in the past, so that's actually a benefit for us today.
Because we were the ones who called the school. We called from
and I'm sure there's other body camera footage But from hearing this perspective, I'm like a little annoyed. Like, why don't they just try to figure out why the police were called and what violent situation motivated the police to be there? Obviously, you still have to use police services. Joy said she was following protocol. Maybe she was, but I think at the end of the day, if you guys are the ones calling the police because of stuff that's happening at your facility, then utilize the police. Otherwise, to give them attitude and act like, oh, we're not going to talk to you, but someone in your facility just called them is really dumb. It's really dumb.
Well, you haven't been willing to do that before. So now there has been some changes. There has been some changes. And you've been forced to give us some information that we've needed. You never have. This is a first for you. I'm impressed. It's Officer Connor, badge 1300. I do not have to provide you with a card. It's Officer Connor, badge 1300. And we can play this for whoever you want. CONNER, badge 1300, ma'am. And we can play this tape for the union and who else ever wants to see it at the school board. So I appreciate your time.
The officer called the appropriate legal advisors on the school's side and the police department's side. If you like this video, YouTube thinks you'll enjoy these too.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm over here munching on some pasta. Hold on. Next video. Now, a lot of those there were situations where they were dealt with in the moment. I have one more video of that, but then we're going to go into situations that I want you guys to make the decision. All right, so this one here is some instances where cops completely overdid their right in the situation, and in particular abused their rights as a police officer against public citizens. All right, so let's watch the situation of a man, as he says in this clip, I'm picking up trash.
Many times, put it down.
And you're holding a gun!
Put it down.
Sometimes, police officers believe that they can do whatever they want, and so they do it. But what happens when the people they harass decide to take action? Here are 4 cases and citizens destroy corrupt cops. Starting with 26-year-old Zaid Atkinson, a college student who on the 1st of March 2019 was confronted by Officer John Smiley, a 14-year veteran with Boulder Police, as he was picking up trash outside his home.
I couldn't help but notice you just sitting on the patio out there.
What's that?
I couldn't help but notice you sitting on the patio behind this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's signs for no trespassing, private property, that kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here. Yeah, it looks like you're working, doing something, picking stuff up. Okay, gotcha. What's the actual address then? Okay, what unit are you in?
I don't think I have to actually tell you that.
Well, I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here, that's all.
I just told you I lived here.
Okay.
And I told you that I'm working as well.
Okay.
So should that be enough for you?
Well, I gotta verify it, just so I know that you do in fact live here.
What do you need from me?
If you have an ID with your address on it, that'd be great.
As soon as the interaction starts, we can see Officer Smiley asking whether Atkinson lives on the property and then asking for identification. Atkinson gave Smiley his student identification showing certain annoyance, but the officer was not satisfied because the card didn't show his home address, and he didn't believe him.
And this is the thing a lot of people don't understand. He's picking up trash outside of a dorm. Outside of a college dorm room. So when he showed his ID for the university, that should have been more than enough for this officer. Right? To prove not only does he go to the university, but he would live on any of these campuses if he's a student. Right? And even if he quote unquote didn't live there, as a student, he'd be working there. Right? Now you guys might be thinking, oh, well, there's no way for him to confirm that. Let's keep watching though.
Do you have anything with your address on it?
Yo, look, man. Here, why don't you follow
just
me
relax.
and I'll just leave the building, dude.
Wait, just chill out, man.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm just asking you if you have something with your address on it, then that would help me.
No, I don't. How am I supposed to have something
with my address
Well,
on it.
a lot of people have a
They
driver's
just carry
license.
they just carry something with their address on it.
Yeah, an ID.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. So, Mr. Atkinson, can I get your date of birth, please?
Why?
I just need to verify who you are, that you belong here, that you have a right to be here, okay?
Are you kidding me, man?
Can you have a seat, please?
No.
Mr. Atkinson.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
290 Cook 12. Can you please have a seat?
No.
Put that down. Stop.
Having provided his ID, Atkinson even suggests that Smiley escort him to the building to confirm, but the officer ignores him and continues to question him. The frustrated 26-year-old simply stopped listening to the officer and instead continued walking around the residence, just picking up trash.
Mr. Atkinson, right now you're obstructing a police officer, which is a jailable offense. I'm asking you one more time to sit down.
I'm not doing anything wrong. And you're not going to arrest me. You're not going to do anything. Because I live here. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Last chance, sir.
For what?
Have a seat.
For what? For what?
Sit
You're
down.
Gonna arrest the
right now I'm
person?
detaining you
Arrest
and
someone?
investigating you for a trespass.
I fucking live here, dumbass.
Sit down. Sit down.
No.
At this point, the situation has become hostile, and Atkinson instead decides just to keep picking up trash whilst arguing with Smiley, who kept following him until they reached the rear of the building, where Smiley showed the kind of police officer he is.
You have a dangerous object in your hand and you're failing to put it down.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down.
You're
being detained.
Your hand is on your weapon, and you're gonna shoot me? That's what you're gonna do, officer?
290, we're still
You're
behind
gonna shoot a resident on his
2333
property for
Subject
picking up
is failing to
trash.
comply.
That's what you're gonna do, officer?
Sit down, sir.
Why don't you use your brain?
I asked you several times.
Use your intelligence. Are you gonna kill me?
Several times I've asked you.
Your hand is on your weapon.
Yes,
I
it is. I threatened because you're not putting that down. Yes, it is.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down. I told you many times to put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Sir, put it down.
And you're
And let me just tell you, this would not have worked for Michael Brown, for Philando Castile, for any other black man who's being questioned by the police, right? This is obviously a product of the environment that we've created today, where police have to take accountability for the interactions that they're having with the public via body cam and witnesses and things like that. Right? So I do think this is probably a lot further than people would have gotten a long time ago, but I love that he's standing his ground. Like, no, you're not going to tell me I'm a threat while you have a gun in your hand. Right? You're the bully with a gun. You're the one who gets to come to my home and tell me that I'm a threat in my own backyard because you don't like to see me here. So I like how he stood up for himself. I like that he spoke to this police officer in an eloquent way, and he wasn't aggressive. He stayed where he was. Trust me, if we would have watched his body cam footage and at the end he would have shot this individual for how he's speaking to him right now, this would not work. Casual Gaming Dad said, be smart. Comply and sue later. Why argue and risk your life? You want to be a martyr? I don't know that he was trying to be a martyr. I think he was trying to prove a point. Like, I'm sitting here picking up trash. You don't get to come to my home and tell me to sit down and be quiet because you want to confirm who I am. Right? I think when he offered to take himself inside, buzz himself in, and prove that he lived there, that should have been it for the officer. You know, but when he went further and further, wanting him to confirm, wanting another person to confirm, that was too much. You know what I'm saying? And then to draw your weapon, like, you're not making it easy for anybody to trust you. And I think the problem is a lot of people don't trust that law enforcement officers are going to make the right decision. And they're not wrong for feeling that way, because there is a lot who won't make the right decision. All right, so let's continue to see how this plays out.
Holding a gun! You're not gonna get away with murder. You're not today.
290, it's gonna be a wrap, I hope.
You're not gonna get away with murder.
Sit down.
I'm not sitting down.
Look, I don't want this to go any further, but you need to comply with my orders.
I don't have a weapon.
That's a weapon.
This is a bucket.
No, that's a weapon.
This
right there.
is a clamper for picking up garbage, sir.
Put it down. I'm telling you, I'm threatened by it.
It's not a weapon. You're not threatened. I'm threatened. You have gun that kills people. How am I supposed to kill someone with
Sit down, sir.
Dude, no. Keep that.
Sit down.
He's got his gun in his hand.
Without any type of justification, as is clearly seen in the body cam footage, Officer Smiley stupidly declares he feels threatened by the trash picker Atkinson carries and decides to pull out his gun. Pulling out a gun during an argument is sure to make just about anybody feel frightened, especially if you're being racially profiled. And if you thought things would ease when more reasonable and emphatic officers arrived a few minutes later and explained to Smiley that what he was doing was wrong, well, you're absolutely wrong about that.
He's got a gun.
Sit down.
Gun. He's got a gun.
Have a seat.
He's got a gun.
Sit down.
A gun. What do you mean? This is my property.
290, we're still giving him verbal commands, trying to get him to comply. Sit down and drop that object.
I don't have to do
Sit down and drop it.
I'm on duty doing my work and my job, and this officer comes over here and
drop the object.
Just relax. Are you serious? Just relax. Look at that. No.
You don't want to know something crazy though? It was probably a classmate of his who called the police in the first place. Whoop. I'll stop. But it probably was.
I'm not doing anything.
Have a seat. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
Why do you all four of them look, dude? All four.
The police are telling you to do something. Do it.
You have a gun in your hand.
Yes, I do, because you're not listening.
You have a fucking gun
You
in
have
your
a
hand.
weapon.
I don't have a
Drop
weapon.
the weapon. Drop it.
I don't have a weapon.
Drop it now.
Focus on me. What are you doing? Focus no, what do you mean? Focus
Drop
on
it
you. There's
now.
fucking 6 of you.
Just drop it.
Really? This is my property.
We're not going anywhere. You need to drop it. I haven't confirmed that yet. I told you I'm investigating a trespass. You didn't give me your address. That's the first time. Have a seat.
Are threatening me on my property. I live here.
Hey, listen.
I'm a resident.
The first thing you need to do is drop that item.
I'm picking up garbage from my fucking dorm. I go to school here.
Drop it. Just drop it and sit.
Here. Okay, just talk. Don't fucking tell me what to do. You guys don't have a goddamn fucking right to be doing this to me.
Sit down.
I'm a
and drop
citizen
it.
of this country.
Sit
I
down.
fucking pay my taxes. I am a student, and all of you have weapons drawn, and I
Sit
feel
down.
threatened.
Sit down and drop that
No.
object.
I will not sit down. I refuse to sit down until you guys put your fucking weapons away.
All right, watch this. Watch
Put your goddamn weapons away.
right there. Can we talk?
Put your fucking gun away.
At least 5 new officers arrived on the scene, and what's absolutely dismaying is that every single one of them considered this poor man a threat and pulled out their guns, a man picking up trash. Then, while the arguments continued, another police officer who had entered the building came out and let our friendly cop, Smiley, know how in the wrong he was.
Okay, these nice people here told me that you are a resident.
Oh, wow.
So is
What a
it-
fucking
That's what we were
surprise.
trying to find out. Okay,
What a fucking surprise. I gave him my ID,
okay.
and then he started taking down my fucking information, telling me this, that, and the other thing. And then I walk away, and he pulls his fucking taser out
So
on me.
Zaid, I'm listening to you, and I just appreciate if you could sit. So Zaid, if you were willing to sit down, this would bring everything down a little bit, and we could start finding out
I
everything out.
do not feel comfortable sitting down around a bunch of fucking murderers.
Okay. Here.
I gave him my ID. He knew who I was. I said my name was Zaid Atkinson.
Okay.
I gave him my ID. He asked me what the address was. I said, let me walk up to the door and beat myself into the building. And he refused to let me walk to my house.
Okay, Zaid. I'm hearing what
How
you're
is that okay?
So
How is that okay?
I'm understanding you're upset.
What do you mean you're
290.
understanding I'm upset? He came out with a shotgun. Of course I'm upset. He pulled out his
Just
gun
drop his weapon.
and said that I'm a...
Yeah, so for me, that's crazy because, like I said, in the beginning, he tried to comply with the officer. He said, here's my ID. This is a college dorm. I live here. This is my property. I work here. Type shit. Oh, you want to know if I live here? Look, I'm going to come buzz you into the fucking building, which each person and resident gets a particular buzz code. So no, a random person isn't going to be able to buzz into the building. So him saying all that was him wanting to prove. I think this officer was just an arrogant idiot. and thought he knew better. And he did comply. He did say, here, I live here. This is my ID. You want to know the address? The fucking address is on the wall, right? So any crackhead can come in here and not look, memorize the address and give it to you, right? But the fact that you want him to recite the address and give you his unit number when he hasn't done a damn thing and he's proved that he lives there is crazy. Don't answer questions and volunteer information. You don't have to give the police any information that has nothing to do with the situation at hand. And you certainly don't have to overindulge the police with more information that they need. So this was just a weird one for me. I didn't understand the purpose of it. But let's continue.
Trying to get him to comply.
On my own property, I'm a threat because I'm picking up garbage.
Take a step back or two from me, okay, so that I can feel.
Why don't you get off my property?
Okay.
Why don't you get off my property?
That's what I'm trying to resolve.
Why don't you get off my property and stop telling me what to do at my fucking house? How about that?
If you were willing to sit down, we could talk about it.
I'm not sitting down.
Okay.
Why don't you go home, officer?
Right.
And why don't you guys go find some real criminals instead of wasting my goddamn time? How about that? I fucking live here. You think this is a joke? I fucking live here. You were ready to shoot me down. And you didn't know a goddamn thing. You're wasting all our fucking resources.
I didn't even point my gun at you,
wasting
sir.
all our resources. There's people out.
And he ain't wrong, right? Whether you point the gun or not, if you start grabbing for that gun on your holster because somebody don't give a fuck who you are and don't want to talk to you or give you any information they don't need to, that's you abusing your power. That's you becoming a bully as an officer. So no, people don't just have to volunteer information to the police just so they can have a better situation. No, the police need to regularly remember and get the information on what they can arrest people for. Cop thought he lied because he's probably a liar. Yeah, sure, right? The way the officer reacted probably had a lot to do with his poor character. But at the end of the day, whether your character is good or not, you can't just pull people over for no reason. You can't just stop people and say, give me your ID, tell me your social, date of birth. I want to know every crime you ever committed. No, you're not privy to that. Right? You're not privy to that information. And I think people need to know what they are required to share with the police versus what is their own private information. So, anyways, let's continue.
Out there actually committing crime.
Like, can I
How do
tell
you
you
feel?
something? Can I tell you something?
How do you feel? You're ready to jump out of your skin because you know you fucking made a dumb mistake today.
Can I tell you something?
No. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I want you to get
Why
off
don't
my
you
property.
talk to my partner?
I don't want to talk to any of
Right
you
now, I need you to
boys.
sit down
I
so
want
we
you
can
guys
figure
to
it
get
out.
off my property and stop wasting my fucking time.
That's not going to happen until I confirm who you are and what you're doing.
The officer also wanted Atkinson to provide his details, even though he had already confirmed that the young man lived in the house. However, Atkinson refused to cooperate. Shortly afterward, Smiley is seen in conversation with another officer who appears to be his supervisor, discussing the situation.
I saw him sitting here.
Yeah, you need to tell me who the
in
you
this
are.
area, saw
What's
the
your
private
name?
property sign. Maybe he wasn't really doing anything. He's kind of milling about, then he'd come back down, sit, milling about, come back down to sit. And then when I came into the alley, he stood up and I saw that he had that metal thing. And it looked like he was kind of banging it, like against the. So I wasn't sure if he was like trying to damage something or. And then I addressed him, and then he proceeded to walk around here, and I saw it was like a device for picking up trash, and he was picking up trash. So I contacted him and just asked him, hey, can I let me chat with you? I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here. And then he initially talks to me, I ask him why he's here, and he says he lives here and works here, and I ask him for the address, and he turns and reads it off of the building.
Okay.
And he won't tell me his apartment number. He gives me some kind of school ID, but it doesn't have a date of birth, so I ask him for his date of birth.
Do you get it?
No. At that point,
So,
he
right.
refuses, and he starts walking away.
So here's the problem, officer. When he showed you his school ID and you looked around and realized that you were outside of a college dorm, you should have walked your raggedy ass away from that property and got back in your car. The problem is, why did he think that he needed to continue to pursue this individual to ensure that he was actually supposed to be there? This is the problem. These officers always want to do too much. They want to be the police of who's too black or too white to be in a particular neighborhood, and it's just ridiculous. If he showed you his school ID and you're sitting right outside a college dorm, then you should have took your stupid ass on. The man offered to take you inside and buzz himself in, which he would not be able to do without his ID. So if you thought his ID was fake, he could have quashed that right there. But because you had your own agenda, right now you got to be online looking stupid. And there still will be people who will say he was wrong. The student was in the wrong. Right? It's ridiculous.
Out of nowhere and picks up that metal object in the bucket and walks away from me. I just follow him at a distance until cover gets here.
After giving his side of the story, which of course is completely different from what we can actually see in the body cam footage, Officer Smiley is notified that everything Atkinson has been declaring is true, as it was confirmed by the owner of the building. To bring something funny out of a disgusting situation like this, Officer Smiley, embarrassed about the situation, immediately muted his body cam when he realized his mistake. The fact remains, however, that if officers can alter recordings, it defeats the whole purpose of putting cameras on a cop in the first place.
So we confirmed that he lives here, right?
No.
Well, he just did.
Okay.
Parker just did. He confirmed that he lives here.
According.
And that's his ego, right? His other coworker is telling him, we confirm he lives here. Every piece of information that he's giving you, he's confirmed. So what are you still doing trying to arrest this man is what he's trying to say without saying it.
According to him, he lives here. He just provided a unit number finally. I don't have a date of birth. I don't know who he is.
Okay. All right. So let's. You got his information in terms of his name and all that.
I just have his name.
Okay. Then give him his ID back, and then we're out of here. Yeah, because we already confirmed he's there, and this gentleman here just said, yeah, he works here and lives here. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think he just.
Smiley subsequently resigned from his position before facing suspension or termination, while Boulder agreed to compensate Atkinson with a reported $125,000 settlement for the incident. I personally think he should have received that exact amount from each cop that pulled out their gun. But if you thought corrupt cops getting destroyed stops here,
and I
that's
agree.
because
I do think he should have gotten a little bit more. You know, I think $125,000 is great. But after you pay your attorneys, that's probably like $60,000 or 70, 80, whatever, around there. It's still not a significant portion. And I think what he went through was a lot. You know, if things would have went differently, he could have ended up gone, deceased. If he would have went to a more racist, he would have been going to college in a more racist town, he could have easily lost his life. You know, so I definitely think he deserved more money, but he probably was done with this BS. And just wanted to take a settlement, period. So, anyways, let's continue on to this next one, guys. And make sure you jump in the chat for me and let me know your opinion. You know, let me know what you think. Do you think that these are instances of police injustice, police brutality? Or do you think some citizens are just being too comfortable using the excuse of quote-unquote police brutality?
You don't know this man. Part-time delivery driver Matt Proctor, who in November 2019 was parked in a non-designated parking spot in a private parking lot in Millbrae, California, when Officer Cordova from a San Francisco canine unit approached him about an alleged parking violation. What unfolded is one of the best proofs of how to act against corrupt cops you'll ever see.
All right, Mr. Proctor. Yeah, that is your last name. Everything okay?
Do I need to answer any of your questions?
You don't have to answer anything, dude.
Okay.
You don't have to. Lucky you stand here all day. I get paid either way.
Can you go ahead and finish your job
Saying?
so I can carry on?
What's it with the anger, dude?
I'm not angry.
You're not angry? You always talk to everybody like that?
I'm not angry.
Oh, okay.
I just want you to go ahead and wrap things up, please.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know, I'll give you a break on it, but you know what I'm saying? This isn't a parking spot. Okay, dude?
You're not giving me a break. You're harassing me at this point. I'd like to leave. May I leave now, please?
Well, do you understand?
Am I being detained?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
All right.
So do you understand why I stopped you?
Do I need to answer any more of your questions?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay. But then again, I could do this all day too.
Okay.
All right. So, would you like to leave? Mr. Proctor, would you like to leave?
Do I need to answer any more of your questions?
Hello. No. I'm not the one that's acting this way, okay? I'm just asking you, I'm trying to give you a break here.
Officer Cordova informs Mac that he is being detained because the location where he is parked is not a parking spot, but we can clearly see traffic flowing in the background while the cop claims he's obstructing traffic. What's even more surprising is that not only was Officer Cordova operating in the wrong area as a San Francisco police officer, but it didn't seem like Mac was breaking any laws that could attract a citation. And funnily enough, for the first time, you will see a citizen actually using his Miranda rights, which explicitly explains that you have the right to remain silent and everything you say will be used against you. The thing, however, is that police are so used to people speaking right after they read the Miranda rights that they don't know how to react to someone actually shutting up, as is the case here.
I prefer you just write me the parking ticket and let me go.
Right, okay, oh, okay. All right, dude, I was trying to be nice to you. All righty, would you hold on? Having it right? Yeah. So just let you know what's going on. We're having another guy coming over real quick. Traffic guy with a side book, since you want a ticket. So otherwise, I didn't want to go through all this hassle. You know what I'm saying?
What Officer Cordova just said means no more than the fact that he had nothing better to
what do you call it? John said, butthead gets butt hurt. I definitely think so. I think for his ego, he wanted that man to respond to him, to say hi, to be cordial, to avoid a ticket. Maybe that's the only way he's gotten positive interactions at any point in his life. But this man behind the wheel wasn't going. He wasn't going. Let's continue.
do than to waste Mac's time. But that didn't stop him from asking more questions and showing us the kind of cop he is.
Is everything okay? Is there any other issues or anything going on that I should know of?
Do I need to answer your questions?
You don't have to answer anything. I'm concerned about your well-being. Is there something wrong?
Do I need to answer any of your questions?
Well, if there's something wrong, it would be nice, yeah.
Do I need to answer any of your questions?
You don't have to talk to me. I'm saying I'm just concerned about your well-being. That's all I'm saying. Usually we don't get people hostile.
I've not been hostile.
Okay.
We cannot say for sure how much training Officer Cordova had in social interactions, but it's certain that he can't see the difference between a hostile person and a person who is intelligent. Or maybe it is because he knows that what he's doing is not right, and it's just avoiding the blame.
Well, usually we don't get people wanting a ticket. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through all this. I could be having my lunch right now. All right, dude. Well, we'll be waiting, dude. Hurry up, dude. It's kind of my lunchtime.
It's almost like they want to give him an they want to give him a ticket for having a bad attitude, right? And that's just not a thing, guys. It's not a thing, you know. So it's kind of weird. But let's continue. We're only going to watch a few minutes of this, guys, and I am going to send you off because I have a very interesting show scheduled for 8:30 tonight that I want you all to be here for. And this was kind of me just adding some extra content, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But you guys can see this guy has no interest in talking to the police. He's a little bit dismissive and mean, right? But he's still within his rights, right? Cops don't like people knowing their rights. They hope you don't. Yeah, they'd rather you not know your rights or even say that you know your rights. You know, they don't want you to exercise your rights and say, hey, I don't want you talking to me or questioning me about something that could land me in jail, right? They don't want you to say that. They want you to try to cooperate and make a deal. So, let's continue.
Oh, hey, Mr. Proctor, can I give you your stuff so you can leave?
Can you?
I can, but you're the one. I would have let you go a long time ago.
What do I need to do for you to hand me my documents so I can leave?
I'll give it to you right now. I just want to know that you're okay, because usually I don't get people all this.
What do I need to do for you to hand me my documents so I can be on my way?
You're okay.
I don't need to answer any of your questions.
Hey, there we go again. Jesus Christ. You know? I'm trying to say that...
You're trying to display your power to me right now.
No, I'm concerned about it. Is there a problem to be concerned about another human being?
You have no reason to be concerned about me.
So it's okay then. You're okay then.
You can hand me my documents and I can be on my way. Or we can...
Okay. So, okay, so if I hand you your stuff, you'll be fine and taken off, and you're not angry, right? You're not gonna, okay, here, I tell you what, I'm gonna take a chance on you, all right, here. Mr. Proctor, you got everything's cool, all right? We're blocking traffic here, your stuff. All right, hopefully you have a good day. Everything works out for you, all right?
Am I free to leave now?
Yes, you are.
Could you please step away from the vehicle?
Yes, I will. You have a good day.
After much back and forth, Officer Cordova finally returns Mac's documents, and Mac starts his vehicle and leaves the scene. It's honestly shocking that so many police officers don't even know what is or isn't legal, and worse, the fact that when one uses his rights that they themselves explain to you, they treat you like the villain. In another video, Mac explained what happened after he left the scene and how he wasn't able to get the officer's name.
I didn't even know what his name was. I never got a citation. I'm not a First Amendment auditor, so I didn't think to go, name and badge number, please. So I've even gone back and watched the video and thought, can I just get his name off of his uniform? And I can't really see it clearly. So I was in such a hurry to break communication with him and get on with my day. He was costing me money, that he was willing to go through such great lengths as to have somebody else bring a cite book to him from across town. I was like, this guy's crazy. What is he going to try and do here? Because he's not got some criminal.
During the stop, Officer Cordova violated multiple fundamental rights and was very lucky that Mac did not file a complaint. But Mac wasn't the only one who had to deal with corrupt cops in his car.
Write me a ticket so I can go by my way. I'm not stepping out the vehicle, bro. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do absolutely nothing.
This driver, on May 19th, 2023, was trying to navigate his way through some traffic when an officer from the Cumberland Police Department pulled him over. However, the officer extends the stop by waiting for a canine unit to arrive, which obviously gets a rise out of the man.
We're going to do a scan of the vehicle, so if you don't mind, just step out of the vehicle.
What for what? Have I been suspected of committing a crime?
We can scan any vehicle we want as long as.
But have I suspected of committing a crime?
For a legal reason. So
that's a traffic stop. That's a traffic issue.
Do me a favor, step out of the vehicle.
Write me a ticket so I can go by my way. I'm not stepping out the vehicle, bro. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do absolutely nothing. If you pull me out this vehicle, I'm gonna file a lawsuit, bro. You violate my rights.
If you don't step out, I will.
I'm telling you. Well, you're gonna have to take me out. I'm not legally getting out my vehicle when I haven't done anything wrong. Absolutely nothing. I was pulled over the other morning going to work for my headlight, right? I fixed it. You want to check it? I fixed it. If you can pull that up, I fixed the headlight. I just came from my house, get gas, got me a soda, got my oil change. I seen you pulling to the fucking sheets, eyeballing the car the whole time. I don't know why y'all keep pulling me over. I'm out here working because I'm in a fucking union. That's why I got Mississippi tag. That's the whole reason you pulling me over. I drive the other car, you pull me over in it. You pull my old lady over in it.
All right, well, if you
it's just ridiculous.
Getting pulled over by the police.
And pulling over his old lady is too much. This is the part that really gets me. These cops never go and pull over the gangbangers and the ones who are in the streets terrorizing the black community or any other community that they claim has more violence than the next one. Right? They're always finding the few people who go to work, who have jobs and careers and vehicles, and who get up and do what they're supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, he's telling them right now, you guys continuously pull me over. He's used to this behavior, and he should not be. What reason do they have? I think a reasonable officer is going to hear out what he's saying and not escalate. So let's see what they're going to do in this case.
Multiple times can be incredibly frustrating, especially in this case, where it seems again to be because of racial profiling. It's no surprise that the driver isn't letting the officer have his way. After a lengthy argument, the man finally reached his breaking point and decided he couldn't take it anymore.
I want to speak to your supervisor, please. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. I'm telling you, pull me out the car, you fucking up. That's all I'm telling you. My people's work in McLean, Virginia. I'm telling you, you pull me out the car, you fucking up. You're making a big mistake.
Well, the issue is
you're making a big mistake.
For a legal reason.
You stopped me because you said I pulled up. No, you didn't come to the car. You didn't come to the car and said, sir, you smell like alcohol. You smell like marijuana. None of that. None of that. You just go to your car telling me you pulling me over for a traffic stop. Go to your car and then 10 police pull up like I'm supposed to be scared or something. I done been through this plenty in my life. I'm not stepping out of shit. I'm not stepping out of shit. That's my right, dude. You don't know you don't.
And notice how he has his life still in his hands. You know what really bothers me sometimes is that people act like they can't speak out for themselves without being aggressive or violent. Yes, you can. You just have to learn to control yourself. This man is doing a very good job of that. He's doing a very good job. Not only is he staying in his posture, but he's also describing what is happening at the moment. Right? If you want to take me out of this car, that's one thing. I'm not going to jump at you. If you take me out of this car, it's good because you jumped at me. And you're going to have to justify that when I'm not doing anything. Right? This is how you have to be. You can't have these two fucking nut hugging pants wearing bandits come up to you and now you're like, oh my God, the law's coming. No, you have to recognize these are two human beings who think they're exercising the law. And if you don't want them to search you, and you have a legitimate reason to not have them to search you, meaning you're not under the influence, you're not doing XYZ, then you stay there and you hold your ground. That's what you do. You have the right to hold your ground. I don't know why people keep acting like they don't have the right. Yes, you fucking sure can. I watch dozens of videos a week of people standing their ground in a non-aggressive and abrasive way, and I think that's what he's doing right now. Let's continue.
I'm done talking. I'm done talking.
You gonna step out of the car now?
I'm not stepping out of shit.
No.
Okay. Give me your supervisor. Let me and him talk. All right, cool. Your sergeant, whoever's in charge.
Okay.
It's bullshit. I'm not stepping out of shit. Once I step out of the vehicle, I lose my rights. I'm not fucking stupid.
The driver requested to speak with the officer's supervisor because he believed he was being treated unfairly. What's even more surprising is that all throughout their argument, the officer did not for once mention what traffic code the driver violated, showing that these officers' actions were absolutely malign.
I'm not getting out the car, man. I ain't did nothing. What you want me to, do I have a warrant? All right then.
The reason we want
I ain't did nothing.
Listen.
I haven't did nothing.
Listen to me and I'll explain this.
I'm listening.
The reason we want you out of the vehicle is because it is their policy that the occupants of the vehicle have to be out of the vehicle while they do the canine scan.
What they doing the canine scan for?
We can scan any vehicle we want.
For what? So why didn't the lady that pulled me over the other morning, why didn't she do the same process?
I have no idea. I wasn't there.
And my headlight was out, and I haven't done anything wrong. Anything.
Even when approached by another officer, the man refused to exit the vehicle.
Dog ain't alert nothing. He came to the... They pulled me over for, it's just an illegal stop, sir. If you're the sergeant or lieutenant. He said he pulled me over because I didn't stop coming out of sheets, which is stupid. There's traffic coming. Why wouldn't I stop, sir? Why wouldn't I stop?
Do me a favor, take the keys out of your
First of all, he pulled in looking at my vehicle while I'm pumping gas. Are you the sergeant?
If he stopped you for not stopping, that's the problem cause for what we're doing.
This is a traffic stop. Why can't he just write me a ticket and I go by my way?
Because he has indicators that he wants to run a dog run.
For what though? For what is the reason?
What do we typically run a dog run for?
Drugs? Okay, but he haven't said anything about drugs when he came to the car. He never said once he suspected me doing anything, sir.
Why is it necessary
Nothing.
for us to argue about this?
It's not
If you have nothing in
because if I'm telling you I haven't done anything wrong and he's saying that I have, it's his word against mine.
Okay.
I haven't done anything.
So then if you have nothing,
absolutely
to worry
nothing.
about, you can let them do their job here and you can go about your business.
They can scan the car around. I'm not getting out though.
Once a dog alerts,
They get it ain't gonna alert.
Once the dog alerts, the dog ain't alert, mother. Okay, because they're basically saying, well, if you ain't did nothing wrong, then let us search. Let us violate your rights if you're innocent. And no, he don't have to allow shit. If your dog's gonna alert, it's gonna alert. He does not have to let you come in there and do a thorough search, a strip search, for you guys to feel satisfied. You know, and that's the weird part here. Officers misuse getting out of the car shit only if they see weapons or they fear for their life. This is conditioning to make us fear and obey or else control thing, ego. Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to know your rights. That's the only way that you don't get taken advantage of. At the end of the day, if you know your rights, then they can tell you do this, do that, but you know what extent you have. He knew he didn't have to get out the car. There was no reasonable reason for that. So if he did get out the car and they suddenly had an altercation or an issue with him, he granted them that right by standing up and getting out there. Right now, they have no reason, no chaser. They have no reason for a canine sweep. When they said canine, I said, where did the canine come from and for what reason? There's none. There's none. There literally is none. So the fact that he stood there and said, no, you guys have no reason. I'm telling you I'm not guilty. I'm an honorable person. You're not going to fuck with my character by making me bust it wide open for you to know I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing. And he has the right to say that as well. You know, that was the part that really bothered me about this. I think he dealt with this in a very cordial and calm way. But when people want to humiliate you and, you know, kind of put you out there, they don't care. They don't care if you're willing to, you know, do the right thing and comply without getting violent, if that means that you're not put out there. They don't care. Let's continue.
Well, that you just automatically saying the dog's gonna learn.
The right to refuse a search is a fundamental right of any citizen, so the officer saying if he has nothing to hide, and as a result he should be searched, is complete nonsense. Even though the police never told the driver what he was suspected of, they still went ahead to scan his vehicle.
There's nothing in the vehicle, so you're just gonna want to violate my rights. Go ahead and violate them. Yes, it is. You just gonna violate the right. You can open the back door and let them in if you want. You can open the door and let them in. They searching to put the canine around the car, y'all. For what reason? I don't know. Didn't say anything about nothing when he pulled me over, but all of a sudden he wanted me out of my vehicle.
Like, imagine getting pulled, like, seriously, imagine getting pulled over by the police and they give you no reason. They just say, we're just going to bring the canine around. And when you question them, they say, no. If you aren't selling drugs and doing drugs, then you should, oh, excuse me, guys. Then you shouldn't have a problem with us bringing a canine. And it's like, bro, I might still have a problem with the canine sniffing the inside of my anus, right? Because why? Why? I'm not getting searched every time I'm going to my house. That's not something as legal citizens that we have to agree to. So when cops tell you, well, if you got nothing to hide, well, fuck you. Can I come search your house? Can I come search your wife's, underneath your wife's bed? Can I come search underneath your kid's bed? No. So I think when people expect that everyone should just hand over their rights to the police, no. There's something weird about that. Nothing says America first other than cutting cancer research to fund your $200 million ballroom. Go cry to Donald Trump somewhere else. All of us are being fucked right now, so we really don't give a fuck about people coming in here trying to make us feel we're all broke and angry and poor. So go fuck yourself. Hey, Faye Moore. Never consent to a search, says Joyce G. I agree with that. I think, especially like if you've already been compliant and open, I don't think you should. It's ridiculous. Let's continue.
To search my car when I have done anything wrong. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is my work vehicle. I fish in it. I work on people's shit. I just got an oil change. Look, just got an oil change just 10 minutes ago. And he gonna tell me I pull out of the sheets without stopping when there's fucking oncoming traffic. What sense does that make? You tell me. This is America we living in, right?
Just as the man explains, the police didn't have anything that allowed them to search his car, and yet they did, and attempted to justify their actions, even though there was no valid reason to do it.
Shouldn't have to fucking go through. I didn't go to work because I was fucking sick today. Went and got blood work and shit done, got my oil changed, and now I have to deal with some stupid shit like this. Cumberland PD. No wonder they got the petition out on that bitch ass officer, whoever the fuck he is. There's gonna be some more. So lawsuit coming. Free fucking money.
What's more telling, however, is the fact that citizens still need to protect themselves by recording their interactions. Otherwise, who knows what can happen? And to confirm what the man had been saying, he was later joined by the canine officer, who said he was free to go.
I'm the canine guy.
Yep.
I just scanned the vehicle.
He alerted, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, because obviously now, because I mentioned he didn't. It's bullshit, man. Nothing against you personally. Nothing at all. It's just the way y'all treat people out here for absolutely nothing is fucking ridiculous. And it has nothing to do with you personally.
Be careful. Got a bus coming through.
I'm not even gonna lie, the fixtures on that building are real familiar. Cumberland Police Department, why the fuck are you pulling over people? What is wrong with you? What are y'all up to? I don't think it's my Cumberland, but what the fuck are y'all doing over here in Cumberland? Okay, all the crackheads and the drug dealers, they live here. So what do we got going on? Joyce said, "Guy talk too much for me." I feel like no. When the police are fucking with you, you let them know they're fucking with you. I don't think that you have to be disrespectful and rah rah, but I definitely think being assertive, right? Because we learn about assertive, aggressive, and passive communication. Which one is the best? Assertive. Be assertive. Be assertive. Be assertive. And you should speak up for yourself. And sometimes these officers, they go too far. They will be highly sarcastic. And I think if people react emotionally, there's nothing wrong with that as long as they don't take it too far physically. Right? And so, no, I don't think we as citizens should discourage each other from speaking up. This man was clearly not a threat. They had no reason to be doing what they were doing with him. And yet, they treated him that way. So, anyways, not surprising for Cumberland PD if it's mine. Let's continue. No Chaser says, I got pulled over last week. They said they was looking for guns. Oh, so you looked like a shooter. You looked like you were pew-pewing. Right? It's ridiculous. And they're like, well, if you don't got guns, then you shouldn't have a problem with us searching for guns, should you? No one has to consent to a search, especially an unreasonable search. So.
What's your name, sir?
Baluch, B-A-L-U-C-H.
He's been cool. You can finish what you was telling me.
So.
Sorry to cut you off, bro.
So, like I said, dog didn't alert to the vehicle, but I always interview anybody after I scan, whether the dog alerts or not.
Yeah.
Just because I want to make sure the dog is doing what he's supposed to. So, there's never been any drugs in the car, nothing like that?
No.
All right. Works for me.
No drugs in the car, sir. This is my work car.
As far as the dog stuff, you're done. They just have to finish your warning or whatever they're doing.
Thank you, sir. No, they don't need.
So ridiculous. They had no real charges for him in the end. And, I wish he would have just stood on that instead of trying to, engage them further at the end. Because, listen, you're driving away. You're free to go. Obviously, nothing they were on was real, So, anyways, guys, I'm going to head out because I do want to come back and do an 8:30 stream. There is a chance that I might reschedule the 8:30 stream to tomorrow. But if not, I will be back in a few hours to give you guys an episode on stalking. Now, I do want to take the time with this one because I think stalking and all those interpersonal violent crimes are becoming, they're not becoming, but they're higher. They're occurring at a higher occurrence. And ever since the COVID-19, quarantine and everything that came after that, there's been an isolation that victims have had with their abusers, whether those abusers are family members or romantic partners or intimate partner relationships, whatever. So that was a big topic I wanted to cover. So honestly, guys, if I'm too tired to do it tonight, I'll be back tomorrow for it. So thank you for joining the stream today. Do me a favor on your way out, hit the like button, share, subscribe. I am going to send you guys out with one song, not 7, 1. And I'll be back to talk to you about stalking. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry guys. What is going on?
Battles got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feed, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolve, ain't no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolve, ain't no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.